This is Red Carpet Fly's News on the Fly, bringing you daily unique and interesting entertainment, celebrity, and luxury news for February 2nd. There's so much news and not enough time, but before we get started, you know what to do. Like, follow, and subscribe to Red Carpet Fly, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single News on the Fly episode. Okay, let's get started. Lauren Smith Fields' family attorney is thankful for Cardi B and BIA spotlighting the case. Attorney Darnell Coslan, the family spokesperson for Lauren Smith Fields, recently spoke to Rolling Out to give details about the case and share his appreciation for rappers Cardi B and BIA for bringing attention to the situation. I actually wanted to talk about this case, but I couldn't find a way to weave it into the Hollywood entertainment and luxury theme, but Cardi B and BIA speaking on this case have made it possible for me to talk about this. So for those of you unfamiliar with the case, Lauren Smith Fields was found dead in her Connecticut apartment on December 13th after she had a date with a man that she had met on Bumble. According to an article in the New York Times, after numerous unanswered texts and phone calls, her mother and brother went over to Lauren's apartment and found a note on her door that read, "If you're looking for Lauren, call this number." Her mother called the number and waited for the landlord. Mrs. Fields' daughter, Lauren Smith Fields, had been found dead a day before. Mrs. Fields said that the Bridgeport Police Department never informed the family about the death. The landlord gave them the number for a detective who told her son in a phone call that Mrs. Fields, 23, had been on a Bumble date with an older man before she died, but the detective provided little additional information. The family had to beg the detective to collect evidence found in the apartment, their lawyer said. The detective also told the family not to worry about the man who had been there the night before, saying that he was a really nice guy, Mrs. Fields said. The man, who the New York Times is not naming because he was not charged with the crime, spoke to the authorities when they arrived on the scene on December 12th, the day Lauren was pronounced dead. The police would not say whether he had been taken in for questioning or if he was considered a person of interest in the case. His lawyer said he cooperated with the police that day and declined to comment further. So this story has made the news because it has been more than a month since the Bridgeport Police Department opened a criminal investigation about Lauren Smith Fields. The story has been getting a lot of attention on social media, and artists like Cardi B and BIA are raising awareness for Lauren Smith Fields' case by meeting with the family's lawyer. In a hip-hop DX article, BIA stated that the Smith Fields' death hits close to home and she feels celebrities should speak on social justice issues. Lauren Smith Fields' family is also crediting Cardi B with shining a light on the case too. Cardi posted a tweet calling for justice in the Fields' death, which apparently helped turn it into a criminal case. Police didn't open an investigation until Cardi criticized the state of Connecticut in handling the situation. So this story piqued my interest for a number of reasons. One, the news and media at large have been criticizing for not covering or bringing attention to missing Black people in general, and it seems very biased in its coverage of missing white women. We've all seen the numerous reports on missing white women such as Gabby Petito. Recently, I've seen a few outlets such as CBSN, the New York Times, CNN, and a few other outlets featuring this story, and I believe they're trying to do this in an effort to make a change. Also, arguments have been made that it appears that Black women's lives don't matter because when tragic events happen to Black women, like Lauren Smith Fields, they don't garner much attention or outrage like the George Floyd case or the Ahmaud Arbery case. Granted, these are different circumstances, of course, but the overall argument being made is when there's a transgression or tragedy that happens to Black women, it barely moves the outrage needle. So I say all of this to say that I'm glad that both BIA and Cardi B are using their platforms to shine a light on this case. Lauren was a beautiful woman who was a student at Norwalk Community College whose goal was to become a physical therapist. She was active on social media, posting about beauty and travel, and had a bright future ahead of her. As a blogger and a young Black woman, I wanted to do my part to bring attention to this case because this could have easily been me or my sister or my cousin. From what I'm reading, it looks like this case has been grossly mishandled, so I'm going to keep an eye on this case and see how it develops. But it's a sad commentary that nothing was done until two celebrities started calling attention to this case. Site sells famous songs as NFTs without permission, sparks global outrage. On Tuesday night, musicians used Twitter to express outrage at a website that was selling their music as NFTs without permission before it was shut down hours later. According to Vice, the website Hitpiece claimed it offers one-of-one NFTs for each unique song record. Turning songs into NFTs allows members to then create a hit list, which Hitpiece envisions will include their favorite songs, get on a leaderboard, and receive in real-life value such as access and experiences with artists. Seemingly anyone could register on Hitpiece to sell a piece of music as an NFT, even on an artist's behalf. Each time an artist's NFT is purchased or sold, a royalty from each transaction is accounted to the rights holder account, Hitpiece website stated. However, there was a clear issue with this. It wasn't the artists themselves selling their work as an NFT in most cases. Hitpiece homepage was hawking records from Pokemon and the Tokyo Disney Sea theme park, as well as well-known artists like John Lennon and Muse. But that wasn't all. Seemingly, music from artists of all levels had made it onto the platform without permission. The reality is that the immoral and unethical thing is that someone stole and profited off of someone's work without permission, said Jordan Reyes, founder of American Dream Records, who found his entire label was listed on Hitpiece. These sorts of scams have existed forever, however, it's utilizing new technology, but it's a huge scam. It's really absurd and kind of hilarious that they offered a Beatles NFT and a Pinocchio NFT. In a good year, our label sells 10 to 15,000 records a year. Disney sells 10 to 15,000 in an hour likely. Whatever legal recourse I would have with this, there are people who are way bigger fish than me up in arms. It feels really half-baked. Perhaps recognizing the outrage and the potential copyright infringement, Hitpiece went offline and replaced its homepage with a simple message: "We started a conversation and we're listening." It also posted a statement to Twitter suggesting that it will eventually be back. Clearly, we have struck a nerve and we are eager to create an ideal experience for our music fans, Hitpiece's statement said. To be clear, artists get paid when digital goods are sold on Hitpiece. Like all beta products, we are continuing to listen to all user feedback and are committed to evolving the product to fit the needs of artists, labels, and fans alike. Hitpiece launched in beta on December 1st with the apparent goal of connecting artists and fans directly. The platform claims to run on a bespoke blockchain called HitChain that runs parallel to the Ethereum blockchain, also known as Sidechain. According to the site, NFTs would only be minted and transferred to buyers after an auction was completed. The Hitpiece Block Explorer reveals that hundreds of NFTs have been minted since the service launched. On social media, frustrated artists speculated that Hitpiece was able to gather such a wide range of music through the APIs of digital service providers like Spotify and Apple Music, though Motherboard wasn't able to confirm this. So a few things. I keep talking about NFTs and cryptocurrency because celebrities seem to have hopped on this wave, and I think it's also the wave of the future. So I want to keep you guys looped in on this. Also, this whole story seems very technical, right? It seems like you have to be some kind of computer genius to pull off this type of thing, but the article doesn't seem to suggest these guys were so tech savvy, which is kind of scary because it seems like anyone with the right set of tools and a little bit of NFT knowledge can potentially do what these guys are doing. NFTs are so new and so nebulous, it's like the Wild Wild West. Anything goes. I feel like everyone is still trying to figure out all the rules. I feel like we're going to hear more and more about NFTs and copyright infringement because there seems to be a very gray area concerning this. In this case, it seems very cut and dry. These guys weren't creating new art or anything. They were literally selling artists' songs as NFTs. But an argument could be made that playlists, right, could be considered creating new art of sorts. Playlists are designed and uniquely arranged by creators using an existing art form. Stay with me now. I know it's a stretch, but couldn't they sell playlists as NFTs to get around this? See, this is what I'm talking about. It's so confusing and the law hasn't caught up with the technology yet. And people are making money out of all this confusion. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys understand what's going on? Because I barely do. I'm just joking. I understand what's going on. But comment below and let me know your thoughts. This last story is a story I've been wanting to talk about, so I saved it for last. Marvel, DC, and Star Wars are ruining movies, so says Roland Emmerich. In a Screen Rant article, Independence Day director Roland Emmerich has recently claimed that franchises such as the MCU and DCEU and Star Wars are ruining movies. Besides Independence Day, Emmerich is also the mind behind several of the last 3 decades defining disaster movies, including The Day After Tomorrow, 2012, and 2016's sequel to his smash hit film Independence Day Resurgence. Emmerich's newest film, Moonfall, will be released on February 3rd, 2022. Emmerich is, of course, not the first big-name Hollywood director to take a dislike to many of the modern super franchises. While promoting his film The Irishman, famed director Martin Scorsese stated that MCU films weren't cinema. Scorsese suggested that the action-packed blockbusters were closer to theme park rides than anything else. There often seems to be a general feeling amongst Hollywood filmmakers that these massive franchises suppress creativity. For example, last night in Soho director Edgar Wright reportedly left the production of MCU's Ant-Man after the studio rewrote the script, leaving Wright's voice out entirely. It seems like this lack of director creativity is a sentiment that Emmerich shares. In a recent interview with Den of Geeks, Emmerich was asked if it's difficult to get an original action movie made in the age of MCU and DCEU. Emmerich immediately answered yes, stating that Marvel and DC Comics and Star Wars have pretty much taken over. It's ruining our industry a little bit because nobody does anything original anymore. Emmerich didn't stop there, however. Emmerich continued to point out how studios like Marvel condition their audiences to favor familiar stories and brand of storytelling by releasing up to 4 films a year and several series on Disney+. According to Emmerich, this makes it hard for any filmmaker with a new idea to get an audience's attention. Emmerich states that the only director who seems to get away with original ideas with any ease is the Dark Knight creator Christopher Nolan. While films such as those in the MCU certainly have struck a chord with fans and can boast a considerable following, it's easy to see where Emmerich is coming from. Emmerich is a filmmaker who not only directs but writes many of his films. Back in the 90s, Emmerich and his original disaster movies were a hot commodity, but now he's faced with his newest film opening in the wake of Spider-Man: No Way Home. While Moonfall is only one movie, No Way Home is the 27th movie in the MCU, and if its box office returns continue on their current trend, No Way Home will become the most successful movie ever. It's certainly understandable why Emmerich is apprehensive about his newest release. First of all, Moonfall was one of the movies on my 2022 watch list, so I'm totally going to see that movie. And secondly, while I'm an MCU and DC fan, I totally agree with Emmerich. I have already made statements that I feel like everyone in Hollywood is now a superhero, which is really annoying because it kind of takes something away from the franchise. And I totally agree that studios don't let viewers even digest a superhero film without pushing a spin-off or another MCU film down our throats. There are so many spin-offs, it's hard for me to figure out what movies or series I need to watch in order to be up to date for the next superhero movie. Also, if another original action movie is released, it has big shoes to fill because we're all used to seeing great CGI and top-of-the-line visual effects. So if an action movie is lacking in that department, it could really hurt the film. I'm all for staying on a winning streak, which is what Hollywood is doing with the MCU and DCEU franchises, but I do think it is hurting the film industry a bit and the ways that viewers consume and watch movies. What do you guys think? Is Emmerich just whining and has a baseless argument? Let me know in the comments. Well, that's it for Red Carpet Fly's News on the Fly for February 2nd. Please like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Red Carpet Fly, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Red Carpet Fly. And until tomorrow, always stay fly.